Today, I'm very excited to be joined by a gentleman that's been involved in 365, Big West, Boom Pro Wrestling, All-Star Wrestling, WrestleCore, Apex, No Fate. That's just to name a few of the many promotions that Inferno has been involved with. Thanks so much for joining me today, Inferno.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about your story. So I always like to ask about your training. So tell me about your time training with Eddie Osborne and 365 Pro Wrestling.
It's awesome. I love training with Eddie. I started training 3 years ago in like October, and I trained for about 3.5 months maybe, and then I had my first match, which was against Eddie. And then yeah, I train twice a week, every week since then.
Do you have any specific memories that you like from your training process?
I just like that it was very, very welcoming. It didn't feel like anything was like trying to wean me out or anything. It was just very accepting. We it was nice and easy, I felt.
That's good. I mean, I feel like the entire core that has kind of come up in the last few years with yourself, everybody just talks about how welcoming the entire industry has been the last few years, which is awesome to hear.
Yeah, because apparently that's not how it was.
Yeah, we live in a pretty spoiled time in wrestling, whether a fan or a wrestler. So you picked a good time to jump into everything.
Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. To help support us, click that like button and make sure to hit subscribe.
I'd be remiss not to ask about the style or the make of that mask. Where did you come up with that design?
This design was actually one that a guy makes in Mexico on Etsy. That was the first one I made, or the first one he made. And then it's kind of like I believe he bases it off of Spider-Man 2099. It's just a different variant of Spider-Man. He's a uh I believe he is a Mexican version of Spider-Man.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. You have on your Instagram profile the Pacific Northwest most notorious troublemaker, and that safety comes third. How did you kind of land on those monikers, and why is your style a little bit crazy, we could say?
Because I don't care about safety. I'm here for a short time, not a long time, okay? uh I love causing trouble. I like getting gossip. I like making mischief. So I just thought let's do that in wrestling as well.
And for those who have seen an Inferno match or seen a clip online, they know that that's exactly what you stand for. You'll know right away by the pinned clip on your Instagram. I cannot get that image of you flying out of the ring onto ringside and slamming basically your entire face onto a chair and turning into an accordion.
Yeah.
Take me through that spot. What goes through your head during that?
I had seen Darby Allin because Darby Allin is one of my favorite wrestlers, him and John Moxley. I had seen him do a spot where he had set someone up and he had just run and he had hit the he just hit normally the guy moved out of the way and he just ran and hit the chair. I was like, I could do that going out of the ring. So I decided to do that one, but I forgot a little bit. I meant to go through the bottom rope and I went through the second and I but I couldn't pitch out then, I had to go full force.
And the amount of shock and awe in that crowd when that happened. I mean, you were probably reeling pretty hard from that pain, but knowing what you just gave the audience is probably unreal.
To be completely honest, I barely felt anything. I hit the chair and I was laying. I was like, I think that went well. And then Ronnie and Crofton come and they were running. They're like, dude, are you okay? Like, don't move, don't move. I was like, guys, get the fuck away from me. I'm fine. Get leave me alone.
And on to the next spot.
Yeah, had to keep going.
I
That was
think
like halfway through the match.
yeah, exactly. I think if I remember correctly, there was even like a huge like buildup of light tubes later on in that match as well.
Yeah, we had the ladders and we had the light tubes in between.
Yeah, that whole match. I mean, that whole card, I think, was like the entire card was all hardcore matches, was it not?
Yeah, that was our night of violence.
Yeah, what I mean, a lot of times you hear these stories of like, hey, this guy's doing this spot, so make sure you don't do it in this match. There probably wasn't any of that because it was all just carnage throughout the night.
Yes. What I really like about our Night of Violence is that each match has a specific thing. So we had a thumbtack match, we had a chairs match, we had all these other matches, and then at the very end we have the death match that just gets to do everything. So you really don't have to worry about copying too much stuff because you only get a certain amount of weapons, or you get everything.
It's a smart way of limiting it, that's for sure. I believe you are the one that started the trend of jumping off the balcony at I believe it was either the Invoke or No Fate shows. That might have even been at the 365 show. I'm sorry if I'm incorrect.
That was the 365 show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so talk to me about what goes into that kind of gravity defying spot there.
I I love any place with a balcony. I think it you get a good view of the show, and I love jumping off of high things. But I want to be completely honest. I did not start it. The first No Fate show, Miles DeVille jumped off onto Sinner and Saint, but he just did a crossbody. I thought I'd one up him and do a flip. So
So you started your own trend of doing the flip.
yeah, dude, you gotta out danger, and to out danger Miles DeVille is hard. That guy's nutty.
He's absolutely insane. He's just climbing the ranks right now
Yeah.
himself after that injury from last year.
Yeah, no, he's
Um,
killing it now.
we talked about the spot of you diving into the chairs. We talked about the light tube spot. Talked about jumping off the balcony. Is there anything that you are actually afraid of?
No, I'm not scared of anything except for giraffes. Their necks kind of freak me out.
Giraffes. Keep away from giraffes. That is
You ever
incredibly
you ever see
unexpected.
them like fight? They're just whacking necks. Dude. I don't mess with that. The Toys R Us mascot, whatever his like Jeffy or whatever.
Yeah,
Nah,
stay away
no,
from
thank you.
Jesse. That's too funny. Is there like a bucket list match or spot that you kind of have lingering up in your brain there?
Oh, let me see. I actually um let's see. I'm almost done my bucket list. I made it when I first started wrestling, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to finishing it. So I'll have to like start a new one. Let's see. The only ones I have left, it's very I got like most of it done. But it's
Okay.
the ones I have left are wrestle at GCW, have a steel cage match, and wrestle at Mystery Pro. Other than that, I've got everything done. I got ladder matches, signed boobs, wrestle Judas and Trav, wrestle at the Commodore Ballroom. I've been going through them for these last 3 years.
So I guess a couple of things to bounce off from there. I guess you're pushing pretty hard to get onto that Mystery Pro show coming to Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm trying to get all the connections I can. I'm gonna be there anyways, just to help out regardless. But I'm hoping to get at least something in there.
Okay, well, let's put it out into the world for you.
All right, you hear that, Uno? Actually, just to spice things up, I'm a huge collector of Uno cards. I got over 50 different ones.
Okay.
And in my little collection here, I got Evil Uno signed Uno deck. So I hope he sees that I never get rid of it. It's always there, displayed.
There you go. Well, we'll put that out into the world to let them know that that Inferno's got the Evil Uno deck of cards ready to go.
I'll play it in. That's all. I don't even do a match. I just play Uno for 15 minutes in the ring.
Hey, people would watch it. That's mysterious enough. I got to watch you actually perform at the ballroom or the Commodore Ballroom show last
Oh
summer
damn,
when you tagged with Elliot there. What was it like performing in front of around 1,000 people at the iconic venue?
dude! It was actually crazy. I because I wasn't supposed to be. I wasn't announced for the show, so I never went out when the crowd was coming in. So the first time I had seen the crowd is when my music plays and I come out with the kendo stick, and seeing like almost 1,000 people there was absolutely crazy. And doing it with a really good friend of Elliot Tyler, who's done so much for me, dude, it was amazing. And doing the full Sandman entrance, having my music play almost like the whole way through, it was one of my favorite moments in wrestling.
And that song people can get up and dance to as well.
Yeah.
Somebody call 911. You can't beat it. Those
My girlfriend was watching it and she was like, you should just wrestle with your song playing all the time.
take a note out of Tony Khan's book.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about it earlier, Darby Allin and John Moxley being some of your favorite wrestlers. Talk about the guys that you were into maybe growing up and now as well.
Yeah, growing up, obviously Rey Mysterio was my boy. I loved Rey Mysterio. And I think it was honestly like Rey Mysterio and CM Punk were my two favorites. And then the Shield came in, and then obviously Dean Ambrose. I'd watch Dean Ambrose. So when I got first into wrestling, I watched everything. I looked up absolutely everything I could. And I had stumbled across CZW, which I got really into. So I was watching John Moxley, and then he went to SCW. Then I watched him, and then he came up to the main roster. So I was watching him layer by layer, and it was really cool to see all that.
So you brought up like how Rey Mysterio is one of your favorites as well. I compared one of your things that I found on social media to you being Rey Mysterio and RJ City. Are you ever going to bring back burning questions?
Oh, I do. I do want to bring it back. I just got to find a really good guest to do it with.
That was really fun watching you and Josh do
Yeah.
go back and forth on that show. I was cackling laughing at that segment.
I love making fun of Josh. His little clammy hands.
Is he one of your like favorite opponents considering you guys are two staples in 365?
Yeah, I think he's my favorite opponent because he's only beaten me one time and I have beaten him about 10. So
Keep
I think
that.
it's a pretty good ratio. I like facing him. He's an awesome one, easy one to work. So he's my road wife.
We talked a little bit about it earlier about how lucky we are as wrestling fans and wrestlers in the scene right now. How lucky do you feel right now to be involved in this thriving scene in the Pacific Northwest?
I feel incredibly lucky in the place I am right now, at the age I am, getting the opportunities that I get to do with, because if I were to do this 10 years ago, it would take me much longer. I would probably have burnt a lot of bridges. I'm not the nicest guy. I joke a lot. I create a lot of mischief. And I feel like if people didn't like me back then, I would have been beaten up and taken out. But obviously people are a lot nicer now. So I feel like everyone gives me a lot of nice opportunities and they give me a good light.
One thing that I also saw on your Instagram that I thought was hilarious was you were preparing for a match against Battle Wasp. You were eating a bowl of honeycombs, which I found just absolutely hilarious. And where do you get inspiration for some of your promos and material? Obviously, we talked about burning questions earlier. Where do you get your inspiration for that type of stuff?
Um, Usually I just have some stupid idea that pops into my brain and I go, all right, I got to film it now. And then I'll just, I'll have some stupid joke that I've been setting up and I'll do a whole promo around one stupid joke.
I talking about things that you're looking to set up in the future. Do you have any specific goals in wrestling right now, whether it's small goals, big goals, short term, long term?
I just want to keep making this my life because currently I am job list and I pretty much do two months in the summer and then the rest of the time I work full time as a wrestler. And so that's just what I want to do. I want to travel more. I want to get more bookings. I want to go across to a different country. Like I want to keep doing as much as I can with wrestling.
Well, you talked about GCW earlier. You talked about Mystery. I've seen a lot of the local guys, including Miles Deville, who we brought up earlier, go to like Mexico and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
the opportunities are certainly there. Do you have any specific destinations in mind? I know you said another country, but that could be anywhere in the world.
Honestly, I think Australia, Japan, and Mexico are the three that I really want to hit.
It would be really hard to say that Inferno would not do well in Mexico, man. You're a high flyer, lots of stuff to catch the eyes of the fans there.
That's not fair though. They all start when they're like 6. I'd be as good as their kindergarten class.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Is there any upcoming matches or any appearances that you would like to promote upcoming for yourself?
I would. every week, Friday in Victoria. We run weekly shows for 365. You can get your tickets at 365salam.com. Monthly passes are a lot cheaper.
Awesome, Inferno. Well, I really appreciate your time today. Unless there is anything else that you want to plug, now's the floor for you.
If you're at my shows, buy my merch. If you want to give me tips, I do accept tips in cash or kisses on the cheeks.